Hi. Okay, thank
So,
you.
yeah, you're good to go. You're good to go. So let me know
Okay.
if you need
And you made
anything.
me host.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me add you as a host.
Oh, you have a nice background today.
Yeah, it's just like some hotel resort that's the staying at. I'm actually moving to another place today. Moving to another
You're just,
place.
you're just not coming back to America, despite
I
the warning.
mean, I was really trying to go to Dubai. Like I'm trying to go
Oh.
into the war
Wait,
zone.
can you make
Fuck it.
me host so that I can make my assistant
Your
co-host so
co-host.
she can
Yeah,
do.
your co-host. Does that not allow you to put another
No,
co-host?
it won't allow me to like assign her as
Okay,
the
okay, hold on. Let's see. Right. Oops.
Yay.
Are your host now?
Thanks.
Yeah, perfect. All right, let me know.
Cross that.
Let me know if you need
Okay.
anything else.
Okay, cool. I'm
Yes,
about to get
indeed.
home.
All right. Thank you. We'll chat later.
Okay. All right,
All
see you
right.
later.
All
Bye.
right. See you.
Participant. Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Kelly. I just sent them the link to
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Still
recording. It's recording. We don't have to talk.
up?
We
Okay.
could type. Okay.
Zoom in. All right, I'm gonna start. Let me
Here
post
we
this. Let me post
go.
this in a couple groups. Post this in a couple
Hello,
groups.
hello.
What's up? What's up, Michelle?
Hi, everybody.
Michelle. Hey guys.
Lily.
What's up? What's
Hi.
up?
Hi, good morning.
What's up, guys? So those of you that don't know how Entrepreneurs Anonymous works, it's kind of like you can be anonymous, but Kelly, they can if they really don't care about being anonymous, they can turn their cameras on, right? If they really want.
Yes, but as you come in, we're going to change your name just so it says founder one or two. We want to keep the flow of the anonymous going. So no questions and conversations are off limits. Like sometimes we don't always
Anything.
want to be known.
Yeah, yeah. You can ask the hard questions basically during those times. And your
Yes.
anonymity will stay hidden if
So hey,
needed.
Michelle. So excited to have you.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Great
Doing
day,
well.
great day, great day.
What's up, guys?
It
Oh, there's two
is.
Michelles. Hi, good morning.
We got
Great
we got a
day to
couple
you.
Michelles in the house now.
All right, Michelle.
Indeed,
Right.
indeed. Will be fun.
Yeah.
Will be fun.
So just
Yeah,
letting everybody in.
yeah.
Super
So
crazy times, but a great time to be talking about crypto, right? Mm.
Yeah.
man, timing couldn't be better. This is why I was like, yo, this would be a dope one right now. Everyone is like asking me about Bitcoin price and what's happening. And it's good to have Michelle. I know she's getting a ton of people asking her also the hell is going on. What in the world is happening?
Woo!
In the world. What in the world is happening? Crazy.
In the
Yeah,
world.
people are worried about so much. And then I
Yeah.
was just reading a few moments ago where they struck Iran banking facilities.
Literally, I was just reading that too, and they are
And
not
and
happy.
and they are not happy about that, and they're saying that they're going to hit everyone's banking center, and they told people to stay, the civilians to stay, I forget how far away
Stay away
from the
from
bank
banking.
and the financial centers.
Yeah, yeah. Couldn't the timing be even better than that right now? Timing is
That's
perfect. Yeah, there's massive change coming.
yeah, and
Massive,
then
massive.
it's this I feel like we're on the brinks of some major changes, but it's kind of like it's so foreign, almost like the .com when this like foreign thing comes and everyone's scared. They're like, do I want to participate in it? Is it safe? Can I trust it? So I think it's really good to have these topics. Oh, we got people from Chicago here.
Chi-town in the building. I'm from
Chi-town.
Chicago
How
originally,
are
born and
you?
raised. Yes.
Chi-town. What is that? We
There we
got
go.
Kentucky.
No,
Is that KY, Kentucky? The Wild Wild West. I personally love the Wild Wild West. This is why I'm still in Egypt, even though we have like a alert to get out of here by the US embassies. To get out. I
So
like I
you
like
decide you're still gonna stay.
I'm staying. I'm chilling right now. I was actually trying to find a way back into Dubai, but it's like, they're the ones that got the most rockets out of everyone. They got the most rockets out of all the thing, over 1,000 or something like rockets slash drones. Yeah. All my friends they're chilling over there right now. They're not too worried. They have really good defense systems, but it's the bigger issues at hand. And here's the thing, what they were just talking about for everyone that doesn't know, as Michelle was saying, like the bank oil has been hit. Um, Oil has been hit. The banking center's been hit. Now that it's like fair game. So like literally they're now teaching the Gulf countries that like USA doesn't have your back, but USA is not saving them. They're just saving Israel. Not to make this political, but this is literally, it is political, to be honest. You have to understand what's happening. And I know what's actually happening over here because I know people inside, not the news. That's one thing you have to understand. Like right now,
Yes.
there's the most insane because of artificial intelligence. There's
Mhm.
insane propaganda. So like you can't even believe what you're hearing from your government officials from all sides, by the way, from Israel, from US, from Iran, like everywhere. So the only way to get real information now is people boots on the ground and people that are actually there. Like that's literally so the people are actually becoming the media because if you pay attention to real media, and now it's like fair game for all kinds of crazy things to happen. And guess what happens during these times? If it gets crazier, more sanctions come into play. And if more sanctions come into play, this is why we're having this call because Bitcoin and other ones potentially are going to have some issues. Let's just say,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? Right, Lily?
All
Yes,
Exactly.
right.
sir.
Okay,
Perfect.
so I wanted to just welcome everyone to Entrepreneurs Anonymous, which is a space where us founders can talk honestly and navigate things in real time, markets, money, technology, and the future of business. So right now, the global economy is shifting. Trust in institutions is changing. New financial rails are emerging, and technologies like AI, the blockchain, are beginning to, intersect, and we need to stay up to speed. So today we're going to break down what entrepreneurs actually need to understand about Bitcoin, crypto, and financial sovereignty, the changes and the shakiness in different currencies. So yes, we have here Michelle Lilly, who is an expert in crypto and Bitcoin in this space. What I love about Michelle is that she just gives so much information really to empower you for the benefit of your own portfolio, right? No benefits to her. So we're super excited to have you here. And of course, we have Jonathan, who's our mastermind behind all the mics, total AI, crypto, blockchain expert. So, yeah, and we're just going to sit here. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to ask Michelle some questions. I think Michelle has some things that we're going to share. And we'll also open it up to you guys. If you have any questions, of course, you can type in the chat anytime you want. You can raise your hand. And then we're also going to have our hot seat. So as a founder, if there's something that you're stuck with or you feel a challenge with, like right now, whether it's, related to this topic or other things in business, admin, finance, tax, tech, you've got us all here, and we'll put you in the hot seat and then unmute you, and you can keep your identity anonymous, but this is what we're here for. So thanks everyone for being here. And Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks, Kelly, for having me and the collective. I enjoy being in this group. Um, so my backstory, just I'm gonna give the Cliff Notes version. Let me go give step one back further. My last job in corporate America, I was a corporate trainer. So
Mhm.
hence why education is important to me. So I've always been on that path. And then became a full-time real estate investor. And in 2017, paid attention because it wasn't the first time that I was introduced to Bitcoin. It was the first time that I paid attention to it. And started buying it at $1,200. It was the year that it went up to 2017 to 20,000. And in that moment, I was like, what just happened? Why? And how do we do this again? Because that was easier money than I had made flipping houses, building houses, wholesaling, any of that. Just
Yeah.
being able to put it there and see that type of return that fast. So no one could tell me. Like I was asking people around me, hey, like why did this happen? Is it on? No one told me about the halving, any of that. And so I was like, I need to find this out because there's something here. I don't know what, but it's something. And so I went on a journey. I went and got blockchain certified first. I flew to Greece for my Ethereum certification. And then in 2022, received my master's degree in blockchain and digital currency. And through that time, I was investing in crypto. And so I was just kind of sharing with other people what I was doing. And before I knew it, a lot of people started making money and they started telling other people. And then thus I started educating people about cryptocurrency and blockchain and investing because was a full-time real estate investor and also tokenization company, tokenized assets, where I was tokenizing real world assets, West 11 here in Miami. And I understand real estate. So I certify real estate professionals about blockchain and real estate and how that intersection happens. Also, teach investors, I'll bring this up in the slide presentation that I have as well, about the intersection between real estate and Bitcoin investing and how to merge those two and use both of them as kind of like a hedge against one another. So that way you can use the upside of Bitcoin as well as get the stability of real estate, if you want to say. So yeah, and then I also help people get transactions complete that need to pay purchasing cryptocurrency through my payment processing company.
Okay, that's really cool. I love also what you're saying about the real estate portion and almost like making it real, right? Because we're talking about something again that's new, foreign. Some people might not have any experience on the blockchain and with crypto, but we
Mhm.
all know the biggest and greatest asset to have is real estate. So yeah, super excited to hear more.
Yeah, and I'll back that one. I was working with Michelle. We were working together on one of her projects, and then she was also part of one of our other communities, which, by the way, it was a Web3 community, which was crypto based. And then we ended up selling that company. We forked, in the naming convention of the crypto world, we fork it, and that's actually what created the collection. And we were working on some stuff, and then Michelle was leading a badass project, and then they were the ones. I think you guys were the first ones to tokenize 11 residences, right? Like the first ones
Yeah,
ever. Yeah, which
yeah.
is which is absolutely crazy that, back in the days it was like, oh, it'll never happen, and it started to happen. And now we have BlackRock and Vanguard saying that everything is gonna be tokenized. Like she was literally leading the forefront in that time. Hence why I was like helping them with that project because it was very exciting
That's
to
why
like
I
be
had to
at the forefront.
pause.
Huh?
Hence why I had to pause. We
Yeah,
were
yeah.
so early that no clear regulation was like we
That's
couldn't move for,
that that's literally what happened to us in Pitch Investors Live, where we were so early. Sometimes you're too early. Like the visionaries, the frontiers men and women sometimes can be too early. And the thing is, time is like one of the hardest things. And your timing, if it's a little bit too early or too late, then you're in trouble. Right. And like that's literally what happened to ours was basically allowing people to pitch and then be able to invest in their projects. We were hella early, like way too early. That was like 2017 we launched that puppy.
right.
So like same thing with like tokenized assets. Like it was just an amazing idea, but it was showing where we're headed and now it's becoming real. So if you're not paying attention to where it is that we're actually going, like you'll get in, but you'll probably get in a little bit too late. And that's why it's important to understand and at least keep up to date with what's happening. Hence why we're having this call. So
But I love what Michelle said a month ago when I saw her. She was like, "It's not too late." Like, because some folks may have that mindset of like, "Oh, I missed it, so I'm late in the game." And I love that she said it's not too late. Okay, so before
We're
Michelle
in
gets into her,
AOL right now.
yes, huh?
We're in AOL dial-up. Remember when you
Yeah.
had your AOL account and
So it's still time.
before you got on the internet? That's where we are right now in crypto.
Okay, cool. So before you start your slide, I wanted to ask Jonathan, what initially pulled you into this space, the blockchain, the crypto? Like, I know you talk about how you kind of saw this early on, but tell us a little bit.
yeah, I mean, I would say the first time I heard about like Bitcoin or like cryptocurrencies was at $2. Okay. So it was Max Kaiser. Michelle, you know Max Kaiser pretty well. I don't know if any of you guys know Max Kaiser, but he's the kind of like the maniac in the Bitcoin world. And he was like, how to become a Bitcoin millionaire. And I was like, the hell is Bitcoin? Like this internet magic internet money, you know? I'm like, damn, I'm like, this is awesome. Sovereign, there's no government. You can exchange it without like basically they had uncovered the double slit process that basically allows you to have a transaction not be accounted
Double
for
spend.
double spend. So the double spend where it can be accounted for in two different places, right? I'm thinking like atoms now here, which is similar. So basically I was like, okay, this is amazing. So I was like, okay, let me try to buy some. This was like, I don't know, 2011 or something like that, or it was 2010 or something, 2010, 2011. And it was so hard to buy though. It was so hard. I was like, shit, I'm like, how do I buy this? Like I'm trying. And at first I was going to put 10 grand in it. Okay, mind you, $2. Okay. I was gonna put 10 grand. I'm like, okay, you know what? I can't afford to lose $10,000 with this magic internet. Put $1,000 in. Didn't do it, right? So I'm like, I forgot about it, and I'm traveling in Germany. This is when I had my reptile business in the largest reptile conference, and I'm walking into my hotel, motel, and the same guy comes on, Max Kaiser, and he's like, "How I became a Bitcoin millionaire," and I'm like, "Oh shit, what?" I'm like, "What happened?" And then the price was at like $500. It was at like $500. I'm like, holy shit! Like if I had literally put in money, that's what got me very similar to you, Michelle, where I got introduced to it. Because like, first of all, I love sovereignty. Secondly, like I love that you can have things that you could deal without having let's say a government or an entity or a banking system shut you down. Not that I'm doing anything illegal, but I just wanted to make sure that I wanted to be able to do something without having
Yeah.
that constraint. And it felt like this is part of the future. So that's what got me really to pay attention. I ended up buying basically, let's just say some Bitcoin at like $200, I think $500, and during the dips and everything, and I ended up selling it super cheap, like basically a very little gain, like hardly any gain, like compared to where it went. So I remember around 2016 when my buddy came back from Cambodia, Lawrence Aponte. He basically was so obsessed with it, and I was like already intrigued, right? Like I was already paying attention. I saw the ICO rage that came out. And then from there, like I was like, holy smokes, this is revolutionary in nature. And we started basically buying Bitcoin and these different cryptocurrencies. And we just saw like how fast you could raise capital. These ICOs were revolutionary in nature. There's people raising $30 million in 60 seconds, right? Like companies were raising money in such a quick manner that it became, I think it was similar. It was probably that year, Michelle, that like, I don't know, 2016, 2017, when Bitcoin went from like, 1,500, 3K to $19,000,
Yeah.
right? Like you remember that was like, it was insane. Like during that time, like I remember because we were buying stuff and I was in Scottsdale at the marketer's mansion with my friends, Damien, Lawrence, some other guys, and we would literally just look at our accounts and like every day it's like higher. It just didn't seem real. It was like it was surreal. It was surreal. It was surreal. And then
Wow.
it was 2016 where I finally took the orange pill, where it was that moment in time where I was like, oh my God, there's more to this. It's not just some asset that's going to go up in price. Like this is a future technology that the world has never seen. And that's what got me so obsessed. Hence we launched like we launched an actual crypto ICO that we basically, right. We were kind of like, we were too early, but then too late simultaneously, like as in we were too early for that type of project, but we launched 1 week. And 1 week before all the crazy regulations came into play, where they're like, we don't know what's happening, everything's a security. So we launched 1 week too late, and then we were going to raise probably like 20-30 million dollars. Like we had already commitments put into play, and we had just done a pre-sale of almost like $1 million right before that. So
Yeah.
it was just crazy times. And like because of that, like we knew that this was going to change the game, and that project Pitch Investors Live was decentralizing the way to allow people to get funding. So let's say someone from Africa, Ghana, or Venezuela, or wherever it is, like some third world country, can go raise capital from a VC, like out of Silicon Valley, out of New York City, like, and then you could do it through the blockchain, and then you go live and you do it. And that was just, again, just like Michelle, we were just too early, right? We were just too early. And by the time that we got further down the road, COVID happened and we ran out of money. And then hence the project basically just got shelved, but it would have been perfect right now, and that's the thing. You never know about time. You have to last long enough to go past it. But that's kind of like my journey, which took us into Legion, which actually is the reason that the collective actually exists today. Yeah.
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 Awesome.
All right, cool. So Michelle, I know you said that you had some info you wanted to share with us, so let's
Sh-
get to it. I feel like the
Sure.
theme is just time, like the right timing, like being in the right time and then also knowing when to move, I love the saying that success loves speed, so we can't always be thinking it over.
You gotta
And
move.
also, let me share here.
Do
And
you
also
have the ability?
Jonathan mentioned something that I think, and you asked about timing. So something that I think is important that a lot of people ask me this, Michelle, is it too late? And they feel like because they heard it, they heard about it, or I told them about it when it was $1,200 when I first started buying it, that it's like this guilt thing, like, man, I missed it because I seen it at this price. I don't want to buy it at this price. But when it's $1 million, you're gonna say that about this
Yes.
price. Or when
Yeah.
it's 250,000, you'll say that about this price. And so the best way to overcome that is to do what I call DCA. I mean, not just I call it, but dollar cost average. That way it doesn't matter the price because we're talking about value here. And a lot
Hmm.
of times people miss the difference between price versus value. I know I did. And so we think that something is this high, be not really understanding how valuable it is. And so we'll miss it. And so to me, when I was paying $1,200, I thought that was high for, I was
Right.
like, 12, they cost $1,200 for one?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was high to me at that time because I had was like, think about it, at
Yeah.
that time we weren't buying stocks at $1,200. And
Hmm.
so and Bitcoin being something new that people hadn't, heard about or whatever. So it was just interesting. So I say that don't get deterred. And sometimes a lot of people they're trying to prove that Bitcoin because they were wrong in the beginning about Bitcoin. They thought it would never hit 100,000. They thought it never hit with 50,000, whatever the price is. And so now they're so like every time it goes back down, it's like, see, I knew that I see this thing is going back down. And it's like, but when it goes back up, it just totally it's confirmed bias. And so
Yeah.
sometimes we have to get past our confirmed the bias because that's what holds us back. Especially
Right.
I've seen that when it comes to why is this not letting me? When it comes to people that I've known about crypto that I've told early, and some of them just are like, I was wrong and I just want to sit here. And I'm just telling anyone on this in anonymous, you don't just have to sit here.
Yeah.
So one, I want to talk about why Bitcoin exists. And I don't know why I'm having technical difficulties, but I
We could
can't.
see your screen. Okay.
Okay, you can. Okay, I
Is
won't
Oh,
do
it
that.
yeah.
part
Is
of
it
it?
too big?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it too big? Like, but we do see why Bitcoin exists, the problem solved, censorship resistant. Is it square size? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh,
There we
there.
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
can
that's
just do
better.
it right here.
Yeah, do it like
Yeah,
that. That's fine.
so why Bitcoin exists. And so we know that Bitcoin is it's a limited supply,
Hmm.
global, programmable. People really don't, I think, understand this part of it. Bitcoin is all it is programmable. And the thing about it is censorship resistance. So right now with Iran and how we said that this is timely, their
Mhm.
money is worth zero right now. If they went anywhere trying to exchange their dollars, no one wants them.
Hmm.
No one will even allow it to happen because it's like they don't even know what it's worth, right? Like I would be like, I don't want to get
Exactly.
Iranian money. Like, no way.
We don't know what it's worth. So, but if they have Bitcoin right now, even not just Bitcoin, if they have crypto right now, outside of
Hmm.
Bitcoin, but specifically Bitcoin, if they have Bitcoin right now, they're good.
Hmm.
And so the thing that I want to share with everyone, because I don't know, I know everyone's chiming in from different parts of the world, but especially like those of us in the United States or Europe, we think that it never can happen to us, to our
This
dollar.
is, yeah.
But we've seen it happen time and time again.
Hmm.
And so, and not to say that it's going to happen, but you do want to make sure that you have a hedge against if it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
That you have some type of asset that's not sitting on Coinbase, that's not sitting in crypto.com or Uphold or anything, but actually sitting on a ledger that you can control. Because people always say, well, what if the internet goes down? And the truth of it is, if the internet goes down, you're really not going into Wells Fargo pulling your money out.
Mm.
You're not going to walk to Bank of America and the internet is down and you like, no, I knew those Bitcoin people were wrong. You know, the internet is down. How are they going to get their money? No, the internet is down. How are you going to get yours? Because
Mm.
at least when the internet comes back up, we know that our money is on the blockchain.
Mm.
So that's something to think about, and not to create Bitcoin from a sense of fear, because I look at it from a sense of freedom. But because we are living in the times that we are living in and we're seeing what's happening in real time, that I think it's important to know that, especially traveling as a global citizen, that we have more options available to us than just US currency. I think that's important too.
Exactly. And let me name one thing, like when Russia went to war with Ukraine and they received all those sanctions, I remember this very well. Within Russia, the prices of Bitcoin actually went up 50 to 100% within, and then the global market, I believe, quickly went to like 10, 15, and then 20% rise, just because from the merchant on the side of the road, okay, to the large corporations had to trade in Bitcoin. And that showed us, like, for the first time, of like how unstoppable. Now, I'm not saying that it's good or bad, right? Because some people might say that Iran is bad, Ukraine and Russia is bad, whatever. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that what if they shut down, like, let's say a extreme regime? Could happen anywhere. It happened in the United States for all that we know. It's still, you have an unstoppable currency. And I just wanted to put that fact out there, Michelle. So I thought it was like very well.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's I'm glad you drove that home, because that's what I was trying to convey for sure. And so I always say follow the money. Even when I was a full-time real estate investor, I was looking at following the money. And so when we look at the large institutions like the BlackRocks, the Fidelities, the Visa, the PayPal, the Coin, JP Morgan, all of them, we know that they don't move for nothing. And they're like, we're like speedboats. We can like move around how we want to. They're like big
Mm-hmm.
ships. So it takes them time to move around. So when they move, they they're positioned to know that they're not going to turn around anytime soon. And so I think that, for people that still kind of like skeptical or like, on the fence about it, the same people that's controlling our money system right now have
Mm-hmm.
already went head in on this new financial system. What's happening right now is that the infrastructure is being built. And so because what happens in any financial system, you have to be able to pull financial data. Cloud computing, you need the data networks, i.e. why there's so many data centers being built around the world right now, because we're going to need the data. AI is going to need a lot of data, and blockchains are going to need the data. The decentralized finance is going to happen, and identity protocols. One thing I want to say about decentralized finance, and I'm not going to go into it deep in here, but a lot of people don't realize is that you can borrow against your Bitcoin. It's an asset. And so I think that's very important, because for when it comes to real estate, we think about borrowing against our real estate, and that's why a lot of times we hold it. But you can do the same thing with Bitcoin, and you don't have to go through any credit check, any tax returns. You don't, your first child, you don't need to have to give all that information. You can do it within minutes, and it's borrowed against your collateral, and you don't have a monthly payment. So some definitely things to think about. I'm not going to get into it too much here, but that's also a huge benefit to
Yeah, I think that's so the concept of it, right? When we're just talking about the systems and how we know money and how we utilize credit and things like that, to think that, okay, I could borrow against my Bitcoin. I know you don't want to get too much into it, but what other kind of ways is Bitcoin and crypto kind of changing completely the narrative on how on the thoughts that we've always had about money and ability to do.
Well, I think one of the biggest ways is liquidity.
Mhm.
So, I asked Grant Cardone the question. Well, I didn't ask him, but he was asked the question: if I had $1 billion right now, and I was giving you $1 billion in real estate or $1 billion in Bitcoin, which one would you take? And he said the $1 billion in Bitcoin. And his
Mhm.
answer was, why? Because I don't have to go through title. I don't have to go through the rigmarole. I don't have to do the taxes. I don't have to do the insurance. I don't have to deal with any of that. I can just get the $1 billion in Bitcoin and it's liquid right away if I need it to be.
Mhm.
Whereas I have a slide in here and I'll show the performance between real estate and Bitcoin, and why I think that it's important to use it together, that you can use them together if you are a real estate investor. But Chainlink, for instance, you can borrow against your Chainlink. Now, all that's a whole nother class. You would have to be a little more
Right.
careful with that because of the volatility. But at the end of the day, these are assets that can be borrowed against. Um, and literally within minutes. So so now you get to keep your asset just like you would keep your home if we were
Right.
using, you get to keep your asset and get you don't want to over leverage. So that way, because of the volatility, you do have to be concerned about that because just like a house, you can get foreclosed on if you over leverage and Bitcoin drops too much and you don't put more capital, you have a capital call, if you want to say. But as long as you don't over leverage and Bitcoin continues to go up, it becomes your bank. And now you can just borrow against from yourself. And now and think about this too. When it's a loan, you don't pay taxes.
Mm. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
important too.
Beautiful part.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And,
And I'll include just one part. Like you can use the bit. A lot of people that I know they're using you could actually do this even on Coinbase. You could leverage
Yeah.
your Bitcoin and just take loans at ridiculously low prices. And you can do it instantaneously. You don't have to go talk to a bank representative. You don't have to talk to anyone. You go and do it on your own and you don't have to ask any questions. And everything's written as smart contract, hence a contract, right? Like if you had a lawyer, but you don't need to have a lawyer, and then it just does what it does. But as Michelle said, you just have to be careful with the volatility because they will liquidate your assets if it goes down too much lower. So you have to put more Bitcoin or whatever crypto inside. But it's like I could go right now in my Bitcoin in my bank and I could literally leverage a loan on it right now and I'll get the money instantaneously like this. No talking to a single human being. Try to go do
wow.
that with regular money. Try to go do that with regular money.
Or with your own money. Like you can't even
Yeah.
do that with your own money. But then
Yeah.
in real estate, go to try to do it in real estate.
Exactly.
Pull $5,000 out your house and they want everything. They want all the information.
Right, exactly. We have a question in the chat. Is Chainlink like a secure wallet for crypto?
No, so that's what I wanted to go into. Okay, so I talked about the infrastructure. So Bitcoin is like the granddaddy. I call it, it's the store of value, if you want to say the digital gold. And then there's the other tokens and coins that are building on a blockchain. So a coin is its own blockchain, a token is built on a blockchain. So if you think about Apple, if Apple, you can build Apple would be the blockchain and the apps built on top of that would be the tokens.
Okay.
So Chainlink is a token, but it's built on top of Ethereum. Um, but what the thing that it solves is it's an oracle. So this is not financial advice, by the way. Let me disclaim this. But Chainlink is a very good, to me, in my opinion, cryptocurrency because it has a lot of with the government. It's doing it solves the Oracle problem. So just like you need Google, you need someone to pull all the data together.
Okay.
Chainlink is that for the financial systems, and it already has government contracts. It's partnered with Visa. There, I can go on and on and on and on and on. But Chainlink is one. So people say, well, why do I invest in cryptocurrencies? What's the difference? So cryptocurrencies are those things that are building things on the blockchain, just like Amazon built something on the internet. They're
Mm,
just like Google built something. We needed data to pull data, just like Google built that on the internet. Tokens are building things on the blockchain. They're building the real use cases that we'll use as we start to use more and more of the blockchain. And
Okay.
so like SUI, I think SUI is a good SUI is a coin, is run its own blockchain. So it's a layer one. But the thing about SUI is that they just did a partnership with Google. And privacy is going to be a big deal when it comes to blockchain. And as more and more of us go to blockchain, because even though once I identify whose wallet it is, I can follow your transactions because of the blockchain.
Oh,
And so people are not going to want that. And especially big institutions are not going to want that, where you can identify their wallets and then start following just that money. So privacy layer of blockchain is going to be a big deal. And SUI has just started, is integrating that privacy layer into theirs, as well as they're doing a lot with AI. That's what they're working with Google as well. So I'm just giving you some different tokens and coins, because people always like, well, what is crypto and what makes it valuable? Like why? So we have a lot of different ones, but I'm just highlighting a couple of them. That one, I believe, this is not financial advice, that I
yes.
believe are good projects and that are really building some real good things and have really good partners. Like Ondo would be the last one that I'll talk about. There, we talk about tokenization. I had to mention this because they're also partnered with BlackRock. So BlackRock is a partner of Ondo, and they're tokenizing real world assets. They're already doing US Treasury bonds, like currently, today. They are already tokenizing US Treasury bonds.
That's dope.
And they're tokenizing securities as well. I could do a whole deep dive on Ondo and pull up their website and show you who their partners are and everything. And if you want to do that, you can. I'm just saying these, I was just highlighting these, hint, hint, wink, wink. If this might be, they might be something good to take a look at. I'm just saying, I don't know if you want to or not.
Thank
Three that
you.
I just mentioned just might be something good for you to take a look at and do a deeper dive into. But that's what those are. That so when we talk about like expanding, they're doing tokenized treasury products, they're also integrated with SUI and XRP. So you want to get in projects that are one, well funded. You want to get in projects with good teams. You want to get in that are building real world use cases that people are really going to use and that already have good partnerships. The next thing that when we see ahead is that I see to think about, and everyone on here who's a business owner, is cryptocurrency payment infrastructure.
Okay.
That is going to be everybody, because we're moving to stable coins, we're moving to cryptocurrency. As far as payments, AI is going to use, and I'll talk about that in just a minute, cryptocurrency for payments. As a business owner, everyone should be able to accept cryptocurrency for payment. Just like we try to accept Apple, Google Pay,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
you should be accepting cryptocurrency for payments, because this is going to be the next thing. Is we live in a global economy, global citizens. How can I pay with that? If from a global standpoint, but not only that, if I have crypto and that's an option for me, let me pay in crypto.
And so, say someone pays you in crypto, are you receiving crypto or will you actually get dollars in your bank account?
That's a great question, Kelly. And actually, that's great, because as the payment processor, no, you get whatever. So if someone wants to, say, for instance, if I pay you $1,000 in crypto, it
Right.
automatically converts to USD if you say you don't want crypto.
Oh,
And your
okay.
account, it automatically, so you'll get USD in your account the next day, just like Stripe.
Oh, wow.
Just like
Okay,
you
that's
had Stripe or
interesting.
PayPal. If you say you want to receive Bitcoin or even 50% of that, you can. You can say, pay me 50% in USD, 50% in Bitcoin. Then you can as well. You can pay out people.
Mhm.
You can do payouts in crypto
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
subscriptions as well. So that whole, just like I was seeing tokenized assets, like Jonathan said, just like I was able to see Bitcoin early in this cryptocurrency. Remember I said this, cryptocurrency payments is the next thing, because everybody's going to need to get paid in crypto, and Visa and MasterCard are already looking to integrate it. Stripe already does USDT, or Shopify does the USDT, but they're not doing the other ones. And so having somewhere you can take, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, USDC, Litecoin, those that people have, then they're going to want to use those. So yeah. So everybody needs to have cryptocurrency payment if you're a business owner. That should be an option for people to be able to pay you in crypto.
So what would you say, because there's so many different coins, right? And
Well, you
this
can
is
choose which one you want.
so where do you go to get your information? Like where's like a trusted source where, if somebody on this call is hearing and saying like, oh, now I want to learn more. I'm interested. Something sparked my attention. I know that you also have some education that you share to the public, but yeah, where's like a trusted source where people could get?
I get some from Kraken Insights, from Cointelegraph, from I can have a list. I have a resource guide. I'll share that list. I'll share that list.
Oh, okay.
I'll
Thank
share that
you.
list with you, and then you can drop it in the group. I have a
Okay.
resource guide of all the different places, and on the different YouTubers that I think are that drop real knowledge, not just the hypey ones that are like hyping up some coin or something, but I'm saying the ones that are really giving out good information that I get good information from sometimes.
Yeah, I think especially as founders and business owners, right? Like we just have so much to lose, and we got people riding on us, and employees were paying their salary, So I think sometimes we could be skeptical when it's something that we're not like confident in. So I think sharing that list would be absolutely amazing, and that's why I really wanted you to come into this space because I know that you're really big on education.
Yeah, I'm gonna move through this fast in case we have any
Okay.
questions though. So just wanted
Yeah.
to show that when regulatory starts supporting infrastructure, that I always say, you know what time it is, follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
And we're waiting on this Clarity Act to pass. Of course, it's going back and forth as we're talking about the banks. If you've been watching it or paying attention to it, the banks are complaining with the crypto exchanges because they can offer more yield on stable coins and so forth. So that's what's happening right now. Why that hasn't passed. Stable coin regulation has passed. Why? Because now people can issue stable coins. Donald Trump and his family issued a stable coin, USD1. And stable coins is what are going to be what we're going to use. Like when we come off we're going to move from from the dollar to stable coins, and that's how we're going to transact. And then if you look at all the White House executive orders that have come out about regulation, you know that something is shifting, and it's shifting fast. So
Mm.
this just was going over like with real estate and median homes. So these are the prices for what the median home prices were in these years. And why I wanted to show the difference here is that the average home price was 250,000 in 2017, and
Mm.
Bitcoin was at 4,000. You needed 62 at the time.
Okay.
In 2020, the average price went up to 270. You needed 31 Bitcoin. So it dropped in half the amount of Bitcoin that you needed, but the price went up in dollars. In 2024, the price, because we know inflation happened, doubled, and it's 419. But you still only need from 31 Bitcoin to 6.4. And so if you were in real estate, this would have been a good return for you in 4 years. But if you
Mm.
were in Bitcoin, this is the difference of if you had this same amount in Bitcoin, the difference is unbelievable.
Right.
The
Wow.
same thing with at I don't know at 405 in 2025 the home price dropped a little bit and you needed five, but you still only needed 5.8 Bitcoin. And so this is why it's important, because for people to understand, when even though whatever asset that you're investing in, if it goes up in value, if you're still only getting dollars for it, your dollar is still losing value every day.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so I don't think so. That's why if you can have a Bitcoin, as whether you're in real estate or not, and you create a Bitcoin treasury, it can offset any of the inflation that you're dealing with, because as long as you're still only operating in dollars, you're still losing value in your money because every day is becoming worth less, literally
Wow.
less.
Well, and
So,
and put into perspective also like the amount of money that we're printing, the amount of
correct.
issues that are happening economically. Like although like a lot of people are like, oh man, Bitcoin's done. It's like, man, it's done this 100 times, right? We're like, what did we get to 126,000, and now we're back down to like 65 to 70,000, but going up and down. It's like it's actually a great time because you saw how high we were able to go. And it's the only unstoppable currency on the planet right now. Like, name another unstoppable. I mean, yes, there's other currencies. Yes, there's privacy coins, but one of the most well used, well funded, well researched, truly decentralized is Bitcoin. Like even AIs, like AIs are going to be using Bitcoin.
That's what, and Jonathan, and I'm sure you're gonna jump in here because with the AI economy, so I invest in crypto right now in AI, and AI agents is a big thing in crypto because they're going to use the blockchain. So because it's transparent, you can track everything, right? And so they're also going to transact autonomously. They're not going to
Mm,
have a bank account. And so,
right.
because traditional banking can't even support it, and so a survey was done, a study was done, asking AI the agents, and 90% preferred to use Bitcoin or digital currency instead of fiat. They rejected
Mm,
it. And there's been new payment standards that emerged, the X402 micropayment standard. Coinbase, they put together a council and they created this micropayment standard because with AI agents, you're going to have a lot of micropayments. And we could even see that now on different social platforms where you can pay people like a half a penny, or you can have micropayments. And it's going to be autonomous, and all of that is going to happen in crypto. So I share this because it doesn't matter if you believe in AI, you have to believe in crypto
yeah. Yeah.
because that is the currency that they're going to use. And blockchain enables AI agents to actually function as independent economic actors. That's why it is. And so because it's global, programmable machine, and you can see on the blockchain everything that's happening. This is where we're going. So Jonathan, I don't know if you want to
Yeah. Well, I'll put okay.
chime
So
in or
I made a video about this that the first time that I actually believed that Bitcoin was going to get to $1 million soon, right? Not in like 10, 20 years, like sooner,
right,
was because I was thinking about it from an autonomous AI agent that are smarter, substantially smarter than humans. So if you were to go give an autonomous AI agent anonymity to go make $1 billion, $10 billion, super smart, right? We're talking about it's already happening right now, not to $1 billion,
right,
but these things are making money on their own. But if you were to give it to an agent and it's super smart and it needed to have a place to keep its money, is it going to keep it in a US bank? Is it going to keep it in a Chinese bank? Is it going to
Mm,
keep it in a Venezuelan bank? Is it going to even try to do it in a Swiss bank? Why would it do that when if the bank finds out that an AI is transacting on its own, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to shut down the account. A
right.
payment that they made, they're going to reprocess it. So the only place that an AI would be able to use is literally Bitcoin. And think about it. If the AI figured out, hey, I need to make $1 billion, I need to make 10 billion, it figured out that the fluctuation and the supply and demand curve is so big, it would literally know that I have to go after as much Bitcoin and suck out the liquidity out of the market. So then my price could go up. And that's actually a stronger strategy. So not only is it safe, not only will it not be hacked, not only will it not be shut down, oh, it might want some of the stuff to also be a little bit more anonymous, sending it into different wallets, whatever. But simultaneously, it knows that it can go buy more Bitcoin and the price is going to go up. So inevitably, it wants to go into Bitcoin in order to survive and be able to do these things. And we're at the freaking not even the tip of the iceberg. We're on top of the tip of the iceberg of
correct.
autonomous agents really taking hold, and they're all going to want to use crypto. We're all going to attach crypto wallets to our agents. Like I'm working on something right now where I want to have a crypto, one of my agents literally attached to a wallet, give it money so they can go figure out how to do stuff on its own through which world? The Web3 world, which the Web3 world, instead of signing in through Facebook, you're signing in through your wallet, and your wallet basically is accessibility to transact and everything. And I'm going to give I'm going to give autonomous actions for the AI to go and do this on its own. And that is the future. That's where we're headed. 100%. Yeah. So good slide on that one, Michelle, because that is exactly where we're at.
Yes,
Wow.
that's what's happening. So go ahead.
I just wanted to interrupt because there was a question in the chat
Sure.
about where do you keep it all? Why wouldn't it just store it all over in different banks and increment amounts?
Where you
That was
keep,
one.
Oh,
Well, where do you keep all the coin? Yeah, all the
well, I
crypto.
mean, I don't know if it's an AI-based question. If it's an AI-based question, the reason you wanted to keep it in banks is because they could freeze your assets, And then Michelle, if you want to answer why you wouldn't keep it in banks just regularly as a human being.
oh, yes, 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 yeah, yeah. Because Bitcoin gives you it's the first one where you can actually, you own the money. And
Hmm.
so once you put it in the bank, it's just like with the ETFs. A lot of people prefer, let me get Fidelity ETFs or whatever, but you don't control that Bitcoin.
Mm.
You don't control it. So you want to make sure that you control your Bitcoin. And so, you can store it on cold storage is the best way. And if you're doing it, just if you're moving money all the time and you're in crypto, you already noticed, then that's when you keep it on like some exchanges, you keep a small amount there because you're moving it fast, or in a trusted wallet, like Trust Wallet is a good one, Exodus is a good wallet, that you can move faster so you don't have to deal with cold storage.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and then it was an AI-based question, and it's just you just don't want an agent would not want the ability to get shut down, right? Or for payments to reverse. So they would have to use the blockchain. Using the regular banking system, it's like there's a reason there's like 7 to 8 intermediaries, and then they can return the money, they can stop the money. With Bitcoin, you send it, it's gone, right? It's like basically see ya, like it's already transacted and moved to other places, and like money loves speed, as you were saying earlier. So yeah,
My favorite thing.
it's a fact, and even more so today, more than ever. And the blockchain solves it because instead of thinking that things are going to go right, you can get shut down by everything. In crypto world, you know what's going to happen because if you create a smart contract to be a contract of services, it's like having a lawyer, but it's code. Instead of a lawyer, you have code, and a code is law. And basically, you know exactly what's going to happen in this transaction. Like, hey, if I send this money into like let's say a custodian place to hold it until something happens, I know for a fact unless that happens, my money will stay there. Or if I send this money, I'm getting something back. Like if I'm buying an NFT, I know for a fact I'm getting my NFT. In the regular world, like people could sign contracts and it doesn't mean anything. Contracts don't even mean shit these days. Like contracts in the future will probably be blockchain based because then you'll actually have risk at hand if something doesn't actually happen through programming code. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true because contracts are just how much money do you have to back a lawyer to enforce it? So,
Even less, I bet less in the future too. I bet less in the future. It's gonna be crazy.
okay. So I wanted to open up. We have a few minutes left. I wanted to open up and see if anyone had any questions, whether it's specifically about the topics that we've been talking about today, or if there's something else that's kind of overwhelming or that you'd love to talk about. Come on in. All right, there we go. Founder 19. Hello.
Hello, Travis here.
What up, Trav?
How you doing, brother?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. How are
Good,
you?
good. Kelly sent me the link late, so I came in a little bit late. I just had some questions.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
go.
all
Shoot.
right. So from what I could gather, you guys are building AI agents to trade crypto.
No, we do it kind of for fun. It's not like a business that we have or anything like that. Like we personally, and Michelle, you can talk about what you do, but we personally, we build like AI infrastructure, we AI teams. We're not
Mhm.
introducing that to the public. That's just something I'm doing more as a hobby. And I know that people are starting to do it. And I have friends that are very obsessed with it. But you can't go like, for example, Virtuals. They're a company that's doing it right now. There was one called AI 16Z, but they like crashed and
Yeah,
burned, I think.
they did.
Yeah, it's crazy,
Mhm.
right? Like a company that had multi-billion-dollar valuation, they basically crash and burn. But Virtuals is a really good one. I'll do a little research on them, and then
Yeah.
we will introduce these as part of what we do as services. Right now, for me, it's just more of a hobby, But I'd be interested in building them for other people too. It's just something we haven't done yet.
But specifically, like your bot trades, it trades autonomously on your own. Like it looks
Yeah,
at the
yeah, we could get it.
market.
We could get it to do anything, like basically anything. But yeah, you can use like Claude Bot, which is now called OpenClaw. You can
OpenClaw.
use you can basically use some of these to actually trade. Yeah, they're actually doing it. A lot of the volume that you're seeing right now, believe it or not, is actually it's starting to become autonomous agents, and they're taking all the money from the people that are try to take their trades on their own because they're so
Yeah, yeah,
fast,
yeah.
and then they know stuff that we don't, and they don't trade on emotion, right?
Yeah, yeah. They don't have FOMO.
Right.
Exactly.
No FOMO. No
Correct.
FOMO.
Or FUD.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. I've been using OpenClaw quite a bit. I built some agents yesterday. I built like about 6 agents in OpenClaw. I'm using ChatGPT Codex for it. And it's
Nice.
just it's amazing what this tool could do. Because I mean I've built apps before. I've built a lot of things. I've been following AI, over the past couple of years. But I think right now we're at a pivotal point where these agents are no longer like just, hey, how do I do this? It's just like, go do this, and
Yeah,
that's what's
yeah.
really, really blowing my mind, you know,
Action, right? The action
action,
was like is the
action.
part that I've been waiting for this time, and like especially when they become like way smarter than humans. Like right now, theoretically, intelligence wise, they are when it comes to
Mm,
intuition, decision making, like kind of like looping correctly like we would. Like they haven't
mm,
got there, but that's probably gonna happen in the next year. So like it's gonna be your
mm.
like it's gonna
Yeah.
be out of control, like what you're able to create. And anyone that is like a visionary knows how to solve problems, knows how to give value, like they are going to
Mm,
be, I do a teaching on this called the one person army, like, and then I can only imagine Michelle with
mm,
like your knowledge of like the blockchain and everything. And now you have an autonomous agent team that is super smart to just take action on what you do and
mm.
like the
Yeah.
tokenization stuff, like what is possible, right? What is possible?
Yeah.
Insane.
It's a
Yes.
bright future. Future's very
Yep.
bright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exciting, and I love how things are changing, and I think the most important part is really having community and trusted professionals, that you could count on. And so that's why it was just great to have Michelle here discussing this topic, which for some, depending on where they're at, they're confident in it or they're not. Like I haven't gone in
Mm,
there yet, or, and then when we're talking about AI education, that's the collective, that's why we're all here, the school community and the education that's there so that we could stay on because
mm.
everything is changing day. Like what happened yesterday is probably no longer,
Old. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's old news. So that's really the importance of community and still being able to do these human things.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Community more than ever. I mean, when I started the collective, guys, like literally the reason I did it is because I knew I quit everything else I was doing because I saw how fast AI was coming out, and I was like, okay,
Mm,
if tech is going to be too fast to even build, it's going to be hard for us to keep up. What's going to be important? Real-time data. Where do you get real-time data from? A community. You kind of like you get all of us go out into the world, just like we're doing on this call. We're getting some new insights from Michelle that's bringing in some cool insights of some new tokens that I haven't even heard about. And we're sharing that together in like a mastermind networking session. And we're all helping each other out because if you try to do things on your own, as much as I love the concept of a one-man army, like think about it for a second. What's more important? Community. And all you have to do is like we have just 2 calls a week, and all you have to do is like be on these calls, attend the events, in the chat groups that we have in different places, and then you're keeping up to date with the newest strategies, and everyone wants to help each other. What's
Yeah.
better than that? We
mm,
could try to do it on our own. We could be as smart as we think that we
mm.
can be, but you can't keep up with the hive mind. That's just you can't. You just can't do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is true.
completely. Okay, so I wanted to just open it up. Did anyone else have anything they want to share or ask a question? You can unmute. Okay. All right, it looks pretty quiet. So we're gonna wrap up. Just a couple of housekeeping things, and then I want to ask Michelle a question that will take us out. So we posted the Entrepreneurs Anonymous school community in the chat. Click on that just to stay up to date with the calls. We'll post the information there, as much replays and good content as we can from this meeting. The idea is that we can come together and support founders with any issues that we're having, and we've all had them. So, in the spirit of the meeting, just before we leave, I wanted to ask Michelle one question. In your business journey as an entrepreneur, as a founder, what would you say is probably one of the most pivotal moments, whether it was a time that you had to make a big shift, whether it was like a really big loss or a regret that you have, if you don't mind just kind of dropping a gem to leave the folks with.
Yes, I can say just speaking on this call, tokenized assets.
Mhm.
So one of the things that I learned from that journey because I was early. And so it was like my baby, and it was a big deal to be, in front of that and everybody was like, wow, this is gonna be amazing. And to have to pause it after you've put so much into it. I had given up everything else I was doing I had really stopped educating like that. So I was really just putting everything into it. And to have to pause it. So the first thing that you might feel, that I felt anyway, was almost like shame.
Mhm.
It was that, like like I let people down, and I had let myself down, and then the pride kicks in because it's like, no, that actually kept me going longer than I should have.
Mhm.
Because the pride was like, no, I got to make this work. I need to wrestle it down.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case. And so there was a moment in that where I lost myself in the pride and the shame.
Mm.
And that, but when I was able to rebuild myself out of that, if you want to say, or like get back in
Yeah.
touch, I was
Yeah.
able to really look back at like a lot of the lessons that I had learned. And had
Yeah.
I not went through like I moved to Miami and everything. I wasn't here. I lived in Houston. I moved to Miami. And had I not did that, I wouldn't be where I'm positioned at right now.
Yeah.
And so, and it could have been easy to retreat. I mean, Miami is an expensive city to live in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it could have been easy to retreat and go back to Houston and, feel like Chicago was no longer an option for me, and my daughter was still in Houston. So it could have been. And I was like, no, like, you even part of tokenized assets, I was educating. That's how I met Jonathan. I mean, he spoke at I had a big event at the Hilton down here. And but what it showed me, if I could leave anyone with anything, is like that resilience and that keep going, and to know that it's the same. It took me back to people was like, how did you get a master's degree, and how did you even know? I'm like, I didn't know to do it. I was guided to do it. I just knew that it was something there. Like I knew it was something there with Miami. And so even though tokenized assets didn't do what I wanted it to do, what I got, like I wouldn't have met Jonathan if it wasn't for tokenized assets. So
Give you a runway to a lot.
it gives you a runway to a lot, as long as your end goal, because I was still on my purpose, regardless of what, I was still on my purpose. So as long as you stay on that path of purpose, it's a lot that may come up in between because
Hmm.
it's going to test you.
Yeah.
Just like the market. I tell the people, the market, that I have never been tested about money like I had crypto like you this and you what, that fast, how did that happen?
Yeah.
But being able to gather, and now I believe that I'll still make an impact in that, in
Hmm.
in in that, but it gave me greater strength even for a bigger impact. So I don't know who might have needed to hear that today.
No,
Because
I love
oftentimes as entrepreneurs, and this is why we're anonymous, we're going through things that we don't even share with people, because we're already the outcast, most likely in our families or in our friend circle, because
it.
we already like, what are they talking about? They always talking about this woo woo stuff, or this stuff that they think ahead. And
Yep.
then on top of that, so I have to feel shame because what I told y'all was about to work didn't work.
Right.
And
Right.
so
Mhm.
just being able to like not attach that to yourself,
Yeah.
like, and to just, take it as just, it's a badge of honor almost, versus attaching it as something bad. So that's what I'll leave, because I think I'm sitting in a better position because of that versus having went through that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And then I felt like probably the more sexy phrase these days is like trust the process. But there's really something in that because we all know in business to advance, it's who we're connected to, who we can build with, who we can partner with, the experiences that we've had. I mean, it's like if you don't have any scars, what are you going to show when, it's when you're at the top? So,
Yes,
um, I love what you said, Michelle. And I think pride and shame, like these are serious emotions that we definitely do carry. Like you said, we're often the outcast, misunderstood, or you're always talking about business. So
yes.
this is the purpose of this community. So thank you so much for signing it off. But so we'll meet bi-weekly every other Wednesday. And each call, we're going to have an expert that's talking about their topic, but we open the floor for anything that you're struggling with because we know these aren't conversations that you could have with any and everybody. So thank you everybody for sticking with us throughout
Thank
this
you for
call today. And thank you so much, Michelle. Like every time you talk, I learned so much and I'm very impressed. Like I was froze open mouth today, just,
Thank you.
taking a lot away. So thank you so
Appreciate it.
much. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Thanks everyone for coming on, guys.
Jonathan, I'm gonna call you later in a minute. I gotta hop on a call, but I'm gonna call you
Yeah,
afterwards.
for
I
sure.
want to get
Thanks.
called too. All right,
All
bye.
right.
Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
everyone. Thanks everyone for coming on. Have a wonderful one. Thank you.
Bye.